Good day, students. Today we are going to start a new lesson, that is transport of substances in plants and animals. In this lesson, we are going to learn how the substances are transported in the plants and animals. Okay, students, can you say what are the substances that can be transported in the plants and animals? See, for example, heart pumps blood to all parts of the body through the blood vessels, and the plants transport water and food through xylem and phloem tubes. Like this, every cell, tissue, organ performs a particular function and transport useful substances among them. Let we learn about it. We know that all living things are made up of cells. Among them, some organisms are made up of single cell, and such organisms are called as unicellular organisms. And these unicellular organisms do not have any specialized organs to perform various functions. For example, amoeba, euglena, paramecium, etc. And all the functions such as intake of food, water, removal of waste materials occurs across the cell surface of these organisms. While on the other hand, those organisms that are made up of many cells are called as multicellular organisms. Multicellular organisms have specific organs to perform specific functions. For example, plants and animals. Plants and animals have transport system to carry useful substances to every cells and have specific organs for the removal of waste materials. Okay, students, now are you clear about the unicellular and multicellular organisms? So unicellular means single celled organisms. Examples are amoeba, euglena and paramecium. At the same time, those organisms that are made up of many cells are called as multicellular organisms. For example, plants, animals, and we human beings are also multicellular organisms. Okay, next topic is transport of useful materials and waste products in animals. So, we know that an organism receives the nutrition from its digested food and oxygen from the lungs. So, the circulatory system transports the useful substances from the digested food and oxygen from the lungs to every part of the body. And the circulatory system also collects the carbon dioxide and other waste materials from the entire body. So, the circulatory system plays an important role in transporting the useful substances and oxygen to all the parts of the body, and it also collects the unwanted, that is waste materials and carbon dioxide from the cells. So, for carrying out all this process, the blood has to circulate in the body all the time. The process of pumping blood constantly by the heart through the blood vessels to various parts of the body and back to the heart is called as the circulation. Next is circulatory system in humans. So, the circulatory system is made up of heart and blood vessels. These vessels connects the heart with the rest of the body. Okay, can you say how many times the heart pumps the blood in a minute? So, the heart pumps the blood nearly 70 times in a minute, and this is an involuntary action. So, what do you mean by involuntary action? What is the difference between voluntary and involuntary action? The muscles or organs that cannot be controlled by us are called as involuntary action. As the pumping of blood caused by the alternative contraction and relaxation of the heart muscles cannot be stopped by our will, it is an involuntary action. And this contraction and relaxation of the heart muscles can be felt as the pulse at the wrist, neck, ankle, groin, and the top of the foot. The most familiar and convenient place to check the pulse is wrist. This pulse count per minute is known as the heart rate. This heart rate indicates how fast the heart beats in a minute. Next is structure of the heart. The heart is a fist-sized muscular organ that pumps oxygen-rich blood throughout the body. The heart is divided into 4 chambers. The upper 2 chambers are called as the atrium, and this is the right atrium and this is the left atrium. As you are seeing the ventral side, that is the front view of the image, the left and right side will be just opposite for you. So don't get confused. Okay. See, the lower 2 chambers are called as the ventricles. This is the right ventricle and this is the left ventricle. The muscular wall that separates the right and left side of the heart is called as the septum. And the blood travels to all parts of the body through a network of blood vessels called arteries and veins. Among these arteries and veins, the arteries carry oxygen-rich blood from the heart to rest of the body, while on the other hand, the veins carry carbon dioxide-rich blood from all the parts of the body back to the heart. Arteries are thick-walled blood vessels and the veins are thin-walled. Veins have walls to prevent the backflow of blood. The arteries and veins are connected by tiny branches of blood vessels called capillaries. Did you know, students? Every day, a healthy heart beats about 1 lakh times and pumps 6,000 to 8,000 liters of blood. Next, we will see about how the heart works. The heart functions as a double pump. See this? This is right atrium, left atrium, right ventricle, left ventricle. This violet colored is pulmonary artery and these are pulmonary vein. Okay. The impure blood, that is the impure blood means the blood carries poor oxygen and carbon dioxide rich blood. So the impure blood from the veins flows into the right atrium of the heart. From here, the impure blood enters into the right ventricle through an opening. This curved opening is a valve. Now, the impure blood in the right ventricle gets transported to the lungs by the pulmonary artery. See, as I told you earlier, this is pulmonary artery and this is lungs. The impure blood from the right ventricle enters into this pulmonary artery and goes to the lungs. Gaseous exchange takes place in the lungs. We know that when we breathe out, the carbon dioxide gas goes off and when we breathe in, we take in oxygen. So, the blood gives off carbon dioxide and takes in oxygen. Now, the impure blood having carbon dioxide gets purified and the blood is now rich in oxygen. This oxygen-rich blood is carried to left atrium by the pulmonary veins. From here, the blood flows into the left ventricle through an opening. The left ventricle pumps oxygen-rich blood to every part of the body through the aorta. This aorta is the largest artery in the body. The oxygen is then used by the cells and the cells produce carbon dioxide. The blood takes in this carbon dioxide and returns back to the right ventricle of the heart. The blood is now pumped back into the lungs. Okay, students, do you know what makes the heart to beat? So, a small mass of specialized cells in the right atrium produces electrical pulses that causes the heart to beat. This is called as the heart's natural pacemaker. This pacemaker develops a defect causing the heart to beat either slower or faster or irregular in beat. So, in such people, an artificial pacemaker, that is, a small battery operated device, is implanted under the skin of the chest. So, this is called as the artificial pacemaker of the heart. So, today we have learnt about unicellular and multicellular organisms, circulatory system in animals, circulatory system in human beings, structure of heart, and the working of heart. We will discuss the remaining portions in the next class. Thank you, students.